Day 32 of the weekend boot camp, guys. Alright, common mistakes that you guys are doing. What kind of common mistakes that we talked about? We're talking about wrong microphone, using it all wrong, alright? So, if you guys remember from my previous episodes of the boot camp, we talked about how to use a microphone, right? But a lot of you guys don't know what kind of microphone you should get. That's not something I hear to talk about because I like to spend all day talking about microphones, all right? But that's actually for you guys to do research on what kind of microphone you guys need. But just to give the little common ground of what kind of microphone you might look for. Normally, these type of microphones are good for like podcasting, right? If you don't talk from the side, you talk from here, but they're good for recording music too. Photos, remember, microphones, what do? Capture audio. Actually, no. They serve only as inputs to recording audio. Your computer records the audio. Remember that. So these serves as input instruments. Right? They're inputting audio through it with a cable into your PC or interface into your PC. Alright. So normally I would say these are good for like they're gonna be really up close and you want like to remove like as much noise around you, kinda. Remember, it's still a microphone. Any audio that exists, it will still capture it. No microphone is gonna get you like the magic no sound anywhere. Unless you're using like those really long cylinder looking microphones, which we kinda talked about it last on the other episodes. And yeah, these microphones right here, they're more than one you hold around here, you know, karaoke or you performing live type of deal, right? If you're recording in a home studio, definitely you guys are not going to be using that. All right. Then we have this one. It's kind of like the AT2020 Audio Technica, right? Or the TLM103. You talk to it from the side. I would say those are really good. I would say they get like the most higher quality, in my opinion. But that's not entirely true every time. So that's why you guys got to do your research. Which microphone is good for you? Ask AI. I know you guys hate AI. Some of you guys love it. To be honest, it's the future. Alright? Are you guys gonna be stuck in the 1980s or what? Stick to the program. Then we got how loud or soft your audio should be. Remember we talked about headroom, leaving room for head? You don't want to go too strong with it. Alright? So they ain't gonna hurt your ears. Especially when you're trying to finish. Pause. That don't make no sense. Basically, all I said was you want to leave room, like you don't want to have it too soft. You want to have it like around negative 18, negative 6 dB, depending on the genre, right? If you're doing streaming and you like it very distorted, then you probably want to go like negative 6. If you're doing something that's not really crazy experimental, negative 18 would do good. Before mixing, alright? Or any mixing, mastering, that's where your vocal should be sitting at. Alright. That's pretty much it for loudness. Like you guys can't go too loud, said. You gotta leave headroom. And if you guys too soft, well then, you're gonna have a hard time mixing and boosting it up again later. So might as well just get it right from the beginning. Am I right? Then we have EQs. So I like a lot of you guys have problem with that. Some reason you guys always like to boost this, boost that, do a whole lot of crazy shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? Alright? You guys like to go crazy with that. You guys always talking about, I need more bass. I need to sound more crispy. But I never see you guys say, I need less bass. I need less crispy. Like, bro, you guys see what it says here. No, nigga, it has to be less bass or less crispy. And the example about that right here. I know this shit gonna get clipped. I don't care, bro. Listen, think of it like this. This is your chest, female's ass. Female chest, female's ass. Alright? If you have a big eye, then your titty, they're a little small. If you have a big titty, your ass are a little small. You see what I'm saying? What is actually the representation here? Your titty are higher up, right? Versus down your ass. So that's like the higher frequency. And the eye is like the bass. You feel me? It's all about that bass, right? Megan Trainor, I don't know, breaking old ad music. Basically what I'm saying, if the bass is too much, you're not gonna think there's enough high end. When in fact your high end is perfectly fine. This is a perfectly good titty, alright? But because your ass is too big, that shit looking small. Versus the other way around. If your high end is too much, your bass don't look like shit. You're gonna be like, where's the bass, bro? Where's the bass? And then you're gonna be trying to compensate with something like this, bro, and something like that. Like, bro, what is this, bro? Freaking look like the whole slip and slide. You see, I don't know, freaking a backward S looking like a dollar sign. I don't freaking know, bro. You ain't gonna get no dollar sign like that type shit. Alright, then we got the second thing. Some of you guys talking about I want more bass, more frequency. Instead of EQing or removing sometimes, bro, you gotta use something that's called a saturator. If you guys are familiar with editing your photos, even you might edit in your phone, you know, whatever, simple stuff. You guys know there's this thing called saturation. Less saturation, zero saturation is black and white. 100% saturation or like middle ground saturation is like color, regular color. And then 200 is like extra colors. So what exactly is saturation? It basically adds harmonics, more frequencies that wasn't originally there, and basically make it sound more rich, if that makes sense. More better, expensive, you could say. So why would you want this, bro? Why would you want to use this over like an EQ? Because like I said, bro, when you're using an EQ, you're just bringing up the volume. You're not adding more of it, bro. You're just boosting it up, bro. It's like saying, I want to be taller, and all you did was put freaking those height boosters in your shoes. You didn't get taller, sucker. You look taller, but you're not taller. You're the same height, bro. Versus with the saturator, you're adding more inches. You know what I'm talking about? Some of you guys need that, all right? That's what you use the that's what you use the saturator for. You want a little more crispy? Instead of boosting it with the EQ, you should use something free like the fresh air or something paid like Saturn. There's a lot more other saturators out there, but these are the most common ones. This one only does fresh air, so like crispiness. This one you can do is like all like different areas of the frequencies. All right, and I think that's, oh no, we got one more. You guys thought, I literally thought that was the end, but no, I even fooled myself. Then we have BPM, not PPM. You guys are freaking pool maintenance guys. No, we're talking about BPM, beats per minute. A lot of you guys are probably in med school. No? Okay, well, beats per minute. It means like boom, boom, boom. How many beats or pulse or sound is happening per minute? All right. What is BPM? It's the tick-tock stuff, bro. Not TikTok, but this thing right here. You guys don't know what this is? It's a metronome. You guys know what a metronome is, right? We talked about that in the previous video. If you guys been watching it, all right? So, BPM. Why do you need to know the BPM of your song? You guys gotta make sure you guys are using the correct BPM, all right? It's the thing that makes sure you're on time with the beat. Let's say you're using a delay. You don't want your delay off time, bro. Let's say you need a little help being on time. You turn on the metronome with the BPM. Bada bing, bada boom. That's what you gotta use the BPM for. Alright? Then we got one more. Good thing I remember. Lucky. Then we got freaking auto-tune. Not just auto-tune, but getting the key right for your song. This is important, bro. Because a lot of you guys are not doing this. What is the key of the song? Freaking, I don't know, bro. Either you use TuneBack, or you check in the description, or the producer tells you, make sure you put the correct key of your song. All right? Because if you don't, you're good. You're good. Okay? That's simple. Get it right. Because that might be literally the one reason you're not hitting them notes. Be like, why my voice sound weird? Why my voice sound weird? You're using the wrong key. Or in fact, you just left it on chromatic. Just like it says here. You left it on chromatic. You didn't put major scale, minor scale. You didn't put nothing. You let that John on chromatic. Put some on your chrome, bro. You know, freaking put your right key on. But with that being said, these are the main common mistakes I see a lot of you guys doing. If you guys get this right, you guys should be Gucci. There's probably more stuff, but those stuff are like minor. Probably should have put like not a lot of reverb, because that's also important. But I think we already talked about that on the reverb episode. If you didn't see that, I swear, most of you guys better be locked in, all right? But with that being said, there's no limits what you can do. Locked in, and I'm gonna talk to you guys tomorrow.